Let's welcome to the show Fraternal Order of Police National Vice President is Joe Gamaldi. Joe, we love having you on. You're a straight shooter. You're a great guy. Violent crime. Number of victims of gunshots, 14.5% up from 2021. Felony assaults up nearly 20%. A really horrific number. Innocent children in shootings doubles, more than doubles, to 25 versus 12 last year. Your thoughts about this?
Well, I mean, it's just absolutely horrible what we're seeing in our communities, Liz. We've seen the homicide rate, the highest ever last year in the last 25 years. We've had 16 American cities experience their highest murder rates in recorded history last year. And with all of this going on, we are still seeing people calling for lesser sentencing, closing down prisons, PR bonds for violent criminals where they just pinky promise to show up to court. And it's so funny because, you know, statistically, the victims of these crimes are black and brown communities. And the funny part is we continue to hear from politicians about how black and brown lives matter, but apparently they only matter when it's politically expedient. It's a disgusting grift, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, stay on that for a second, because half the homicide victims in Los Angeles are Hispanics. And they're less than half the population. We've got blacks account for about 9% of the population. We're talking Los Angeles. Blacks account for about 9% of the population in Los Angeles, and they're 36% of the homicide victims. We have defund the police crashing the number of cops on the beat per capita. It's plunging in New York, LA, Chicago, in Minneapolis, and we're seeing it in Seattle. We're seeing it elsewhere. Your thoughts about that?
Well, you know, I think my first thoughts are, where are the politicians in this area calling for increased patrols in their area, calling for increased police officers? That's if we can find anybody to take the job, Liz, because I'll tell you, I've never seen it this bad in my career here in law enforcement. Our recruitment is absolutely tanking. Applications are down 83% in Chicago. We've got in New Jersey, they're down 90%. Resignations are up 20%. Retirements are up 45%. I'm in Philadelphia right now with leaders across the country from the FOP. We're all seeing the same thing. Everybody's leaving, and no one's taking this job. And do you really blame them? Yeah. We've been denigrated and demonized for the better part of a decade. So people who look at this job, those qualified people, they're voting with their feet. They're taking different jobs. And the only thing they can do now as politicians is to cut the services that they provide to the community, which they're already doing, and reducing the qualifications for applicants. And all that's going to do is exacerbate the problem of us trying to build trust with our communities.
You know, Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors, she's saying the media is racist. She's no longer with the foundation, the nonprofit. She's slamming the media as racist for reporting on the $6 million mansion that was bought with charitable donations. You know, the law is colorblind. You can't break the tax law to your own personal benefit.
You know, and she's just one example, Liz. We are seeing this across the country where leaders of Black Lives Matter chapters are either not following the law properly and reporting the taxes, they're using the income for own personal things, building real estate empires in California. So I would implore the public, make sure you're not giving money to a bunch of grifters who don't really give a damn about Black and Brown Lives Matter in their communities, because why aren't they holding press conferences talking about these children that are being shot, to women being kicked down the stairs in our subway stations? Where are you, Black Lives Matter, while we've been devolving into states of chaos in our urban communities?
Yeah, the families of Breonna Taylor and Michael Brown are saying, you know, victims' families of police brutality, saying we're not seeing any of the money. So nobody knows fully where the $90 million in donations went. We've got outrage in California. We've got weak on crime Democrats boasting about releasing prisoners to reduce the prison population. We have Smiley Martin arrested in connection with Sacramento shooting, released early from a 10-year prison sentence. Let's listen to the Sacramento County DA on this one. Watch this.
The Department of Corrections released him, and I do want to make it clear that he served just a little bit less than 5 years of a 10-year sentence. But there's a reason why we write these letters, and we've been doing it for 6 years now, because you know, there's a number of individuals that are getting released that we're concerned about. We need to get some, really, to stop the chaos, as I say, in California and get back to some balance and accountability.
So this could have been a gang warfare kind of shooting. I mean, they found 100 spent shells where 6 people were killed, 12 injured. He rigged a gun to become effectively a machine gun. Your thoughts?
Liz, this individual, this monster who's suspected of sparking off this whole shooting, he got released early from prison. That was despite the DA writing a letter that said, if you let this monster out, he's going to continue to terrorize the community. And surprise, surprise, they let him out anyway. And now we've got 6 people dead. We've got 12 people injured, lives ruined and impacted forever, all because we want to be light on crime. And how's that working out for all of our urban communities? This is not difficult, folks. You throw the book at violent crime and violent criminals and you lock them up.
Yeah, minority groups are saying, wait a second, we're scared. They want the cops on the beat. They're scared. We're going to stay on the story with you, Joe. It's good to have you on the show. Come back soon.